So we're starting Powder's Prison Show. Me and Tony, we have been doing this and obsessing over this, bringing the best content, live shows globally, T-shirts, mugs. We've been doing that. Everybody knows that we have been doing that. And when we get together, we succeed and we accomplish our goals. And I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not ready for this. You're not ready for this because we're putting together, it's already together, a prison show, Powder's Prison Show, a 30-minute segment every day, Monday through Friday, bringing the best of everything. Tony, you want to tell them a little bit, and I'll tell them a little bit more about what it's about?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, man, this is going to be a $4.99 membership fee, for those of you, it's not going to be fair, but for those of you who actually really like Powder Man and want to tune into him and hear him on the daily basis. You heard the man. He's going to be entitled to come on the show 5 times a week. And you guys are going to have direct communication with him. There's going to be live shows. You guys are really going to be able to talk to him directly. There's going to be debates. And as always, man, Powder's going to be releasing some juicy stories that have not been heard. You guys think you have heard it all? You guys have not even heard, not even a little bit. You haven't even scratched the surface yet, man.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. And these things right here, this is a project. These projects don't just come overnight. This is something that we have been strategizing and thinking about. And you have this idea, and then we get our format together, and we do this correctly. And we did it, and it took us a little while. People didn't know about it, so we wanted to, surprise everybody. And this is going to be the hottest new thing. We believe Mr. Tony, he brings the best of the best. Like, no doubt about it. This investigative journalist has undisputedly brought the best stories around the state of California consistently. And I'm speaking first-hand knowledge. I mean, this man is talking to the best of the best. There's no better content than what he can bring because he gets it done. He finds these people, not just regular dudes doing time in prison. He is going out there and putting in effort and energy out of his life, hand-selecting and screening the top ones. I give that to Mr. Tony. That's right. Right, Tony? Sure.
Hey, absolutely, Powder, man. I want to, and for the people who are listening, man, I can bring you an average Joe every single day. I can, and not call him an average Joe, but I like to go after the people that were really involved, the people that were knee deep in the mud, people that picked up life sentences, people that sacrificed themselves for the cause or for their belief systems, and those are the people who I like to target and to interview, man, and dive inside their mindsets and let them give us a little piece of their mind and how they think and whatnot. And that's what I love to do. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. We would not be here for you guys.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Wilson, right? But I only left it. It wasn't long, man. That's the only high school I made it to.
What ended up happening there, man? And can you tell me what the environment was like there?
When I was going there, right? There's actually, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you ever seen this movie. There's a movie called Freedom Riders, right? And it kind of it's based on true events. It was based on that school. At that time, it was nothing but Hispanics, Asians, and blacks. And I'm gonna tell you, man. There was a few whites, but not many. The environment there, man. It reminded me. Hey, looking back on it now, that reminds me of a prison yard, man. You would go out to lunch, and you would look across the campus, man, and you'll see each race would be segregated from each other, man. It was a trip, and it was tense, man. It was always tense, man. There was always issues, man. Especially with the Asians.
Did you guys ever, kind of try to come to terms with the Asians? Talk of a peace treaty or anything like that, or it's always been war?
As far as I know, there's never been. Not one time do I remember anyone ever saying anything about a peace treaty with them. I don't think that. Look, when they targeted any Mexican, when they said those words, that started everything for them. That was their downfall in regards to being safe, because when they did that, they're not just singling out a certain group of individuals, which was basically what they meant was my neighborhood, Isalongo. When they crossed that line and said we're targeting any Mexican, that was the time when it came down on them from all sides, man. That's because the inmate got involved. Once the inmate got involved in that, they put the green light on all the Asians, and they started getting hit from each side, man, from everywhere. And there was never one opportunity for anyone to have any kind of talks with those guys and try to come to some kind of agreement, man, to peace, anything. You never. I never heard of anybody ever saying anything like that.
A lot of the times when people come close to losing their lives, whether they get caught slipping, they get ran up on, whatever the case. However, more than likely, their family never knows about it, they never hear about it, or their friends or whatnot. Was there ever a time where you might have lost your life?
Man, it's funny you should say that, right? So trip out on this, man. I was kidnapped by the TRG, man, and the dudes my age, all the homies my age, they all know about what happened, man. I got kidnapped by them fools, man, and they were torturing me, man. They were gonna kill me, man. They were gonna kill me. I got saved by a cop, man. I don't think I'd ever been so happy to see a cop in all my life than that day. Because, I don't like the cops, man, but that day I got saved by one. And, man, that wasn't the only time. I've been in some pretty serious situations, man, where I've been shot at. I've never been hit, but I've been shot at so many times, man. I've been in some situations where, honestly, the only thing I could think of, man, is God. I'm spiritual, man, so I believe in God. And that's the only reason that I'm here right now, man, because there's no reason why I should be alive.
When situations like this happen, and you have to kind of, explain to your fellow homeboys, what is it that happened? How do they interpret this?
Well, I mean, it all depends, right? Like, it all depends what kind of relationship you have with your homeboys, right? Me, all the homies from my neighborhood are my homeboys, but not all of them are my boys. You know what I mean? Like, I had we all have our little circle, and those ones that I kept close to me, they would understand where I'm coming from if I was to approach them and talk to them about a situation that happened. And usually everyone always resorts to the same answer, and that's revenge, man. That's the first solution that everyone comes up with, man. It's like no one ever talks about, hey, man, how can we fix this, man? How can we make this better? How can we keep this from happening again, or something like that? No one ever does that, man. The first thing everyone always thinks of is, hey, you know what, man, we gotta go get these guys now. Let's go get somebody that they love, or something along those lines, man. There's never that type of understanding, man. It just goes immediately to that solution, violence, man. And it's just the way it is, and that's because everyone is living the same way that I'm living, and that's all we know, man. Or we used to know.
May I ask, when was the first time you actually hit an adult institution?
I came to prison in 1991. My first prison was DVI, the AC. They called it Gladiator School for a reason. That was my first prison, man, and I was 18 years old, walking the yard right there. And Yeah, it was crazy.
What landed you there?
2 counts of armed robbery. I robbed a convenience store right there on 7th and Alamitos, USA gasoline station. There was 2 guys in the store, so each individual counted as 1 count of robbery, and they sent me upstate for 5 years. I did have some on that, so yeah.
Tell me what your experience was like right there at Tracy, man. I've always heard rumors, man, like you said, man, they call it the gladiator school. You know, same thing about Corcoran, you know, the gladiator days, man. Can you tell me what your experience was like, man? Did you have to get involved in any type of one-on-one combat?
Hell yeah, man. It's like, look, man, in here, man, everything is all about your name. Your name is your alias and where you're from. That's your identity in here, homeboy. That you have to keep that spotless. You cannot smear that. You cannot stain your name, man. You have to make sure that at all times your name is when someone brings up your name is always, oh yeah, that's the homie right there. You don't ever want to, oh yeah, I know him. You don't ever want to hear that. So with that said, man, you have to do things. Sometimes you have to do things that either you don't like or something that you don't agree with, and that's only because you realize something, man. You're no longer yourself, man. When you come in here, you're part of a group. You're no longer you. You don't stand on your own 2 feet. You're surviving. You're existing for somebody else, man. To another man's command. That's just the way it is. And the sooner you come to terms with that, that's when you're gonna start making it easier for yourself. Because a lot of people don't like being told what to do. But the fact is that we're always told what to do. And I guess it's just how you're asked, you know? But I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't want to say I was, yeah, you know what? No, I was, man. I was bricks my first term, man, because of my surroundings. You know, I had never been in prison. All I ever done was doing a hall time and all that. When I hit the state, man, I was just tripping out. I had a chip on my shoulder. I felt I needed to prove myself, because that's just the environment you're in. And when you start to do that, man, it's like an avalanche, man. It keeps going and going. It just doesn't stop, man. Once they see that you're always willing to do shit, they're going to use you, man. And that's just the way it is.
You said that you were terrified, man. What do you remember, man? What do you recall? What kind of people were there? What kind of people did you meet? Who was the first individual that contacted you or that you came across? And what did he tell you? You know, how did he break it down to you of what to expect?
All right, look, I don't know if you've ever experienced having to meet your girlfriend's dad for the first time, right? And let's just say her dad is like this older dude that's been in prison most of his life, and he's got a big ass mustache and he's all tatted up, and you know the dude is scary, man, you know. But you have to meet him because you're his daughter, so you don't know how this dude is gonna come at you, you know. You're shooting this, but at the same time you got heart because you have to, because you believe in this. You're committed to your girl, so you want to meet this dude. Well, that's kind of like what that is, man. Going to prison, you're surrounded with all these dads. You know what I'm saying? And they're all scary, man. At first, they're all scary. They're like, and they're gonna come at you the way they know how. That's just one way, man, and that's the convict way. The way they interact with each other, man. It's something that you don't learn how to be until you've been in prison for a long time. Then you develop those same traits. But until you do, everything is new to you and everything is scary and everything is like, yeah, I guess You know, it'll.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It'll put you in a place where you don't want to be, but you have no choice. You're there, so now you got to deal with it, and you have to find yourself. You have to figure out how you're going to figure this out, how you're going to do this, and you're constantly thinking, am I up? Am I going to do something up? And my time came when I didn't want to socialize with those dudes that were my enemies on the streets. So now in prison, they're my homeboys, and I have to deal with them. If something happens to one of them, I got to get involved in it. I didn't agree with any of that. I had that chip on my shoulder because these enemies of mine had smoked some of my homeboys. We smoked some of their homeboys, whatever. And now I have to break bread with these dudes. And that didn't sit well with me, so that was my problem. That was the reason I was always getting in trouble. I was young, man. I was 18. I didn't know. I thought I did, but I didn't know. So
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I didn't have that restraint, that discipline yet. So I was emotional about it, and I let it be known how I felt, and I was constantly getting tested for that, and I got put in some serious situations for that. It wasn't until much later where I learned how to control this, but until then, I was constantly in some Hey, Anthony, you want me to call you back?
Yes. All right, Jose, sir, man. If I'm not mistaken, sir, you previously mentioned that you were serving 190-year sentence, sir. Am I correct?
Correct.
All right, my friend. If you will, man, can you take me there, to that day, leading up to that day, man, and please, man, full detail, man, explain to us, man, what was it that happened, man? How the hell did your whole world turn upside down?
Matt, I'm going to tell you something, man. This is something that I've been sitting on and thinking about for the last 16 years, man. I've done a lot of things in my life, man. So sooner or later, I was going to get caught up for something, and I was going to eventually come in here for life or get killed. There was just no other options. Those were my only two. And I had already kind of made peace with that. And the time I'm here for now, man, it is something that, honestly, was about the stupidest thing that I've ever done that's gotten me caught up. And I'm going to tell you, man, I sit on it and I regret it, man, for one reason and one reason only. And that's because I never said sorry to the mother and the wife of the victim, man. And this is something that I honestly feel terrible about, and I feel bad because the dude had kids. And the worst part about it is that it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. It happened. My intended victim lived, but the other guy, he just it was his time, I guess, and I'm the one that did it to him, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was something that, man, yeah, it was something that I wish never would have happened, man, but it did. And I was there. All right, man, let me start. I pulled up to this pad, man, right, looking for someone. This dude owed me some money. Well, I knocked on the door. This guy answers the door, and he's like, I asked for some dude I was looking for. He's not there. And I asked this guy where he was at, and the dude that answered the door said, hey, man, he don't live here no more. He had an attitude. So I'm like, all right, man, I said, well, check it out, man. I'm going to come back. Try to make sure he's here, or locate him or whatever, man, find him. And let him know I'm going to come back, and I want to talk to him, man. So the dude still had a little attitude, but he said, all right. So as I was leaving the apartment complex, it's an apartment complex that was down on Third between Linden and Elm in Long Beach, and it was like a crackhead infested ass apartment complex, man. It's just Section 8 is just run down, man. 4 stories high and nothing but tweakers and crackheads, and it's just a bad environment, man. It was just terrible. Well, as I'm leaving, I see this dude, man, who was inside the apartment. I didn't see him when the door opened. I didn't initially see the dude. Well, I have a history with this guy. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
the guy was bald-headed now, whereas before he had long hair. And he thought that I didn't recognize him. And the dude asked me for a cigarette, if I would sell him a cigarette. And I told him, I don't sell my cigarettes, man, but I pulled out my pack and I gave him one. And I even lit it for him. And he's looking at me, man, I'm looking at him. And he's like, all right, my thanks. I said, all right, you're welcome, man. And I let him walk away. He thinks that I don't recognize him, but I do. Now I have more of an incentive to come back. Not just for this other dude that I was looking for in the first place. And I don't want to get into the details of why I wanted to do this dude, but let's just say that he did something that I think any man in his right mind would probably want to do the same thing I wanted to do. You know, he did me wrong, man. So I left and I waited a few hours and I came back. I came back with 2 of my little homeboys. I'm not going to mention their names, but they were there just to back up in case anything went wrong. So I go to the door and I knock on the door, and that same dude opens the door again. Only this time I didn't let it sink. I just kept the door open, and I put the strap in his face, and I told him get on your knees, man. And my little homeboys, they were just out here. They couldn't help themselves, man. They just start giving it to them. They start snatching on them. They don't both of them are strapped, but they don't start lasting it. They just start snatching on them. And the dude I'm looking for, I see him on a futon. He had a pipe in his hand and a lighter in the other. And when I busted the door open, he was in the process of smoking. But when I kicked the door open, he was still shocked. And he's just staring at me. He had the lighter and the pipe in his hands. He was still laying down, kind of like sitting, leaning back a little bit. And as I'm walking up to him, there was a guy at a computer, and he's on one of those chairs that have wheels on it, like for a desk. And when he seen me walking in his direction, he went for something. He went down to his left, like towards his feet. He was going for a strap, and I seen that, so I put my gun on his ribcage and I gave it to him. I shot him once, and then he fell, and I went to the guy I was looking for, and the guy was just shocked. He was just staring up at me, man. And I said, yeah, I remember you, man. You remember me? And I told him that right before I shot him 5 times, and he threw him in the chest. And I thought he was dead, man. Well, I hear more gunshots in the back. I guess my little homies, that dude that was beating up, they answered the door. But he managed to get up somewhere somehow, and he's fighting for his life, man. He tried running out the door, and my little homeboys started dumping on him, but they missed. So we all just took off, man. And later on, when I stayed, I went to the homie spot, and he had a police scanner, and I heard my name all over the radio. And the only way that they could have ever known it was me was the dude that I intended to kill didn't die, and he was the only one that would have been able to identify me. So obviously he didn't die, but yet they were looking for someone for murder, for me for murder. So someone died, and I knew it was the guy that I shot one time. You know, and like I said, man, he wasn't my intended victim. He died, man, because of something that I had with some other dude, man. That dude that I was trying to kill, he claimed to be the victim's stepdad. Well, his stepson died because of what he did and what I did. You know, but the thing is, man, is that I have to live with that every day, man, and it fucks me up because I'm not the type of person, man. I never have been. I don't hurt people that don't got it coming. I mean, you know, when I say don't got it coming, I mean somebody that's in the game, somebody that does the same thing that I do, somebody that does, you know, things that summons the same type of, I don't know, I guess you could call it street justice, man. I don't know. All I know is that I don't hurt innocent people, man. I don't go around hurting women and children. I'm not, you know, man. That's not the kind of man that I am. I never have been, man. But these people are not innocent. They were in the game too. You know, it's that he had to die, but he did, man. And like I said, man, it's just something that I gotta live with now, man. And you know, that's what happened. And that's why I got busted. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing less now for that.
That night, you said you were listening to police scanners, man. What is the emotion that is going over you, man? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Did you even sleep that night? Are you looking out the windows? Are you thinking that the cops are gonna bust in your door and any second, man? And eventually they do get you, man. And how did that go?
You know, it was not. There was no chance to sleep, man. It was nothing like that. It was all about getting up out of here now.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I went to a homie's pad that was well respected and well liked in my neighborhood. He wasn't from my neighborhood, but he lived in my neighborhood. He was someone that was respected from his own neighborhood and mine because he did things. And I went to him specifically for one reason. He had sources, he had resources, he had connections, and he had a lot of love for me. And I gave him a brief rundown on what happened, and he's like, yeah, you got to get you out of here. So he gave me some money, gave me a gun, and gave me some dope, and he's like, don't trip, now we're going to get you out of here. We're going to take you to Mexico tonight. So he was having two girls drive me to Central, and from there I was going to go to Mexico, and then from there driving to Mexicali, and then pick up in Mexico with whoever he had some people. And I was like, cool. Those were the plans. And as I waited for all this to happen, I was doing drugs then, man. I was smoking, I was getting high. And I started doing drugs, man, because, you know, I had a lot of problems, man. I had a lot of things in my mind, and I was trying to escape my problems. I was always running from myself. I didn't know how to face them up. I didn't know how to face them like a man and just deal with my problems. I always ran from them. So I started doing drugs and drinking a lot. So by the time I reached that point right there, I was really into drugs, man. I was up. And that's all I was doing was smoking dope and drinking, trying to clear my mind of what I was about to do and where I was going to go, because I didn't know where I was going. I just knew that I had to get to Dodge, you know. And the girls pulled up, and the goodbyes were said, and got in the car, man, and just thought on this, man, prior to the girls pulling up, one of my homeboys, and I offered his name out there because he's a rat. His name is Loquito, and he's from my neighborhood. Well, he pulls up right there, and he sees me. He went there to buy dope, and he sees me, and he's like, oh, hey, she starts tripping out like, damn, hey, man, they're looking for you. I'm like, I know. He's like, hey, man, good luck, and hey, man, I love you, fool, and this and this and that, and like, take care, and yeah, it's good. Thanks. And he gets his dope, and he leaves. Well, I didn't know this dude was a confidential informant, man. I didn't know until after this. He When he left there, he went straight to...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He went straight to whoever he worked for, and he notified them that I was there at that place. So they already had the place surveillance by the time I got out to the vehicle and I was about to leave. The car was already being surveilled, the family was being surveilled. So, you want me to call you back?
Yes, Jose, please.
Okay, so okay, we said our goodbyes and all that, and I walk out to the car with the girls, and get in the back seat with the white Explorer. One of the girls driving, she's both of the girls are young, man. I don't know them. I don't know who the hell they are. All I know is they're just gonna take me there, you know. I said, cool. Get in the back seat, man, and as soon as I get in the back seat, I get on my phone and I'm texting someone, and I'm just telling that person goodbye because I'm leaving. And man, I'll tell you, we don't even get out. We don't even get off the fucking street, man. That same street, all we did was drive up Eximino on 4th and Eximino, made a U-turn and started heading west down 4th Street. We hit a little small street called Apple Drive or something like that, Appleton. And as soon as we hit that street, man, it's like we were just surrounded, man, just surrounded like everywhere. There was cops all over the place, and the girls start freaking out because they don't know what's going on. They don't even know why they're taking me where they're taking me. They got paid and they're taking me. That's it. And I told the girls to relax. I said, look, man, just relax. I said, I'm your uncle. I'm dead. I'm drunk. I'm gonna lay down in the back seat. I'm drunk. You just taking me home. And I started giving them fake names, telling them I'm so and so, you're so and so, and this is what we're gonna say. And they're like, but they're all freaking out because there's so many cops. They don't even know what's going on. So, well, they pull us over. They don't even pull us over. They just stopped us in the middle of the street, man. Bright lights were all over the car, and demands were being shot at us about put your hands up, all that stuff, and they instructed the girls to get out the car, man. I really thought about having it out with them right there on the spot because I knew it was done, I knew it was done, but something wouldn't let me, man. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I just went ahead and surrendered, man, and they can take me in. They came, they pulled me out the car, and they arrested me, man, and man, they didn't charge me with murder initially, man. They charged me with some spousal abuse on some girl. So I don't know, some girl I was messing with said I hit her, man. I never even hit the bitch, but she said I did. She's just some broad, I don't know, man. Well, that's what they charged me with, to hold me until they could rebook me for murder, and then, which they actually did in like a few hours. And at first I was like, man, wait a minute, you did all that for this? You arrested me for this? And they're like, yeah, that's the charge. I'm like, I started thinking maybe they didn't know. I don't know. I had a little bit of hope left, but and man, the thing is that at first, man, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, man, you're probably tripping on why I'm being so free to speak about this, right? Well, the thing is that I'm already convicted for it. I'm already being life for it. So what could happen, I'm not getting out. There's no chance of me ever getting out. I really doubt that I'll get out. But so I'm not afraid of the repercussions. There's no consequences. I'm not worried about that. Well, the reason I am talking about it, man, is because you're the first person that I've gotten my chest with. I haven't with because, like, for what? I don't talk about. I pled not guilty and I fought it. I took this case to trial, and I got convicted, and like I found guilty and was convicted, and I fought it thinking that I could probably get out because at first I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care about what happened to the person who died or the family. I didn't care. And I just wanted them to think that I didn't do it. But after serving 16 years for this, now I look at things different. And now they need to know the truth. They need to hear it from me. And they do hear it one day that I did do it. Yes, I shot that man. I shot Richard Martinez, and I'm the one that killed him. And it was an accident. I didn't mean to kill him, but I did. And that's why I'm telling you, man. That's why I'm telling you this. In hopes that, they could get a little bit of peace at least. And hopefully that their hopes, when you lose trial, before you get sentenced, the family of the victim is allowed to speak. And they get to talk to you directly. They get to talk to the person who did whatever they did directly. I didn't have the balls enough to look at the mom or his wife who spoke to me individually and told me how they felt about what happened, what I did to them. I didn't have the balls to look at them, man. I couldn't look at them, because I still kept denying that it was me. Well, their words hit me, man. Their words really sank in. It really, man, it hit me. It tore me to pieces, man. Their words fucked me up, man. They changed me. Those words changed me. It took a long time for them to really start working, but they finally did. And I'll tell you, man, I have no problem, telling you all this now because it's something that just needs to be out there. I need to say it. I need to tell them, man, that I'm sorry. That's why I'm telling you this.
Jose, man, I'm going to take it just a little bit back.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
May I ask, who was the first person that you called, man? And what is the conversation like? And how did they interpret this, that you're going to pretty much spend the rest of your life in prison?
I remember calling my mom, right? And I didn't tell her what was going on. She's the first person I always ran to, man. I'm my mama's boy. My mom was, she's everything. So I would always run to her. I always ran to mom. I was a kid. So I called her and I told her, I was back in jail. And I just told her, Mom, I'll be in here for a little while, And, she's already kind of gotten used to it. So she's like, well, let's start over, let's start again. And her mind immediately goes to visits, because my mom was already conditioned to this. And I never realized how much I was doing to her, man. I never realized how much I was hurting her, man. But yeah, she was the first person I called, man. And yeah.
Can you take me there, man, to that day when that judge finally read off that you were being convicted, and obviously when you come back a little later and you find out that you're going to be serving 190 years, man. What are you thinking, man? And honestly,
Check it
man,
out.
did you shed a tear?
You know, I didn't shed a tear, right? I was, all right, I already been found guilty, man, and now I'm going to the county jail. I'm on the bus. I got convicted that day, and it's crazy because when you're in court, you're in a tank. You're in a holding tank with all the other inmates who are going to see the judge that day for whatever reasons, whatever the cases are, and everyone, you know, is in the same tank, and we're all just waiting for each one to finish, and at the end of the day, we all get driven back to the county jail, man, in the bus. And, you know, it's crazy because the kid before me got like 200 years to life. Some little black kid, some youngster, a crib, he got broken off. So I knew I was going to get broken off too. Well, everyone in that tank, man, the victims, they automatically give you respect. They like stay away from you. I don't know if it's fear or what it is. They just don't want to irritate you because they know you just they want to stay away from you. They don't want, you know, unless it's dudes that really know you and they're in the same boat as you.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It's like, hey, man, I feel your pain. You know, they come take it with you, but for the most part, everyone stays away from you, and it gives you time to think. And what I was thinking of at that time is just my little boy, you know, and you know, the hopes of me being able to still have some kind of relationship with him, you know, and my mom, you know, my sisters, my nieces, nephews. That's all I thought of, man. That's what I always think of. So they put me in the bus. They put us all the chain us up and they put us in the bus, man. And there's a song by Metallica, man. It's my favorite song, man. It's called Unforgiven. And, you know, that song was on, man. And it's just like, that song reflects, you know, just, it's me, man. You know, it's just, and yeah, that's when I shed a tear right there, man. The song was playing. I was in the freeway, 710 freeway, going back to the county jail. Only this time, it's for good, you know. I'll be back down to that courthouse one more time just to get sentenced. And you know, I go back to the county jail with a whole new perspective of life, man. And that's that I don't give a attitude, because that's what I am now, and that's what I gotta give, and that's what I became. So when the judge sentenced me, it's crazy that it seemed like they did it on purpose. They waited to sentence me on January 9th. That was my birthday, man. And again, man, they go through the whole ceremony, whatever they do, and that's when the mother and their impact statements, that's what they're called. They let them do their impact statement, and then the judge sentences you right after that. And the dude tells me, he tells me the charges and everything, and tells me why I'm getting so much time, and then he gives me the final number, and it says 191 years to life. And at the end of everything, he said, well, good luck to you, Mr. Rodriguez, and oh, by the way, happy birthday. You know, and I looked at him, I said, all right. And I just, you know, I was out of there, man. Yeah, man. And you know, man, I'll tell you something, man. All this was going on, I didn't give about any of it. For one thing, my sister was always sitting in the courtroom. She was always in the courtroom, man. She was the only one. My sister Grace was right there, and I would always look for her, man. You know, and they could serve me 191 years to life, or they could serve me 1,000 years to life. I didn't give a fuck, so long as I saw her, and that made my day right there, you know. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how we become like that, man. It's something that
You have 60 seconds remaining.
This is a process, man. This is the process that we become like this, man, because of all the things that we go through in life, man. And then we get treated like animals in here. There's only one way we're going to behave, man. It's like one, like an animal. And that's what happened to us, man. And that's what happened to me.
What do you feel is the hardest thing about serving this life sentence?
Being away from my family. That's it. That's the hardest part, man. That part right there. Other than that, I could do this, man. I could do this forever. I am doing this forever. But it's being away from the people that you love, the people that love you. That's the hardest part right there, man. Dealing with the fact that you did something that hurt somebody